Breaking news. Clippers have officially fired coach Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, the Clippers coach for last 7 seasons, officially got canned. And, the first reaction that I have to this news is long overdue for the Los Angeles Clippers organization. Doc Rivers should have been fired years ago for the many seasons that he had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan in their primes and could not get to the conference finals. Should have been fired years ago. And then, magically last summer, Kawhi Leonard signs a trade for Paul George, and the Clippers automatically jump to number 1, maybe number 2 favorite to win the NBA championship. And what happens to the Clippers? They get bounced in the second round after leading 3-1 to the Nuggets, blew a 3-1 series lead, had double-digit leads in the second half in every one of those games, and still lost. Doc made no adjustments to help that team. And look, there's so many excuses. Everybody wants to make excuses for Doc Rivers. And, there was a bubble. There was a lot of injuries on the team, chemistry, this, that. At the end of the day, they were still up 3-1. Clearly, they were playing well. Clearly, there was chemistry. They were up double digits in the second half. Not once, not twice, 3 times, and they blew it every time. Let's stop making excuses for Doc, guys. Everybody wants to make excuses for Doc Rivers. You got these analysts on TV, and I'm not going to name their names. They have no credibility at all, saying they don't like this move and the Clippers should not have fired Doc Rivers. But clearly, stop making excuses. Doc is not a good coach. Doc, really one thing I'll give Doc is he might be the most overrated coach in NBA history of all time. Moseyed his way into about $81 million from the Clippers and Steve Ballmer, so do not feel bad for Doc. Doc got paid, and Doc Rivers, unbelievable. He started off with Orlando, blew a 3-1 lead there. Let's remember, Doc Rivers is the only coach in NBA history to blow 3-1 leads, 3 of them. Blew it in Orlando. Then they started off this season horrendous, 1-19. I think he was 1-10, and they gave him the can in Orlando. Then he signed with Boston. They had 45 wins. Then the next season they had 33 wins. Then the next season they had 24 wins. He was about to get canned from Boston as well, but what happened? They trade for 2 future Hall of Famers and completely turned around the franchise. They got 3 future Hall of Famers and a young Rajon Rondo, and they end up winning the championship because of that type of talent. I could have coached that team to a championship with that kind of talent, and everybody wants to give Doc Rivers, he's a championship coach. Come on, guys, look at that roster. Every coach in the NBA probably would have coached them to a championship. Let's not make any excuses there. Then he came on to the Clippers. The Clippers traded. Remember this, guys. If you don't know, they traded a first-round pick for Doc Rivers. Listen, they traded for Doc Rivers. A first-round pick for Doc Rivers. And, when he came in, they had 56 wins the season before. After that, he came in 57 wins, 56, 53, 51, 42. Clearly, you see the trend. Clippers record kept going down. Winning percentage kept going down. What did he do? He blew a 3-1 lead to Houston. Good job, Doc. You got Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul in their prime. He did nothing with that team, and finally, two seasons ago, they relieved him of his management duties. He was the GM and coach for a while there. If you look back, a part of the reason why they weren't able to do better is his draft history is a complete joke. He was drafting guys like Reggie Bullock, C.J. Wilcox, Bryce Johnson, Willie Warren. The guy's draft history is probably one of the worst. The guy's a horrible GM, horrible coach, and this decision needed to be made. And let's not, Doc Rivers, great guy, very nice guy, but we're talking about basketball here, boys. Basketball. And Doc Rivers just did not get the job done. He had ample time, 7 years to, make the conference finals, and he couldn't do it. And this was the last straw. You got Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Beverly. You trade for Marcus Morris. You got Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell. You're up 3-1 and you don't get it done? In the bubble, this was their chance. They would have beat the Lakers and they had to go up against Miami. This was their chance. And I give kudos to Steve Ballmer and the management for finally realizing they made a bad decision. They should have fired him years ago, and they manned up and let him go. They had to do it. There's all this outside noise that you can't fire Doc Rivers, this, that, for different reasons, and they finally made the decision and they let him go. So I give them kudos. And look, let's not feel bad for Doc. He cleaned up, moseyed his way into a lot of money from the Clipper organization. No more excuses. Doc had to go. I wish him the best of luck in the future, but he had to go from the Clippers. And look, I think the Clippers are still going to be a major contender next season. Hopefully they get a good coach in. I don't know who the coach is. There's kind of been no rumors on who it's going to be. So hopefully they get a solid coach that can improve them and take them to the conference finals and the finals. They got the talent there, and they need some coaching to, put them over the top. All the viewers, comment. Tell me what you guys think about this decision. You think it's the right decision or the wrong decision? Tell me who you guys think should be the next, the coach for next season. All right, guys.